Hello. Today I'm going to talk about why you should play Sea of Stars. Okay, okay. So, Sea of Stars is a classically inspired turn-based RPG game. It's pretty awesome. It's an indie game too, I'd like to note, first off. The whole premise is that you play as a pair of siblings who represent the sun and the moon and are solstice warriors, and how they have to go on an adventure to defeat dwellers who are basically destroying the world, and as more powerful ones wake up, you have to go and fight them. And you unravel a huge plot of betrayal and mystery in order to save the universe, the multiverse more like, from these dwellers and a certain danger that is behind them. It's pretty awesome. You have a great, ragtag team of heroes from all over the place. You got a cool battle system that's unique. I'll talk about that more. The art style is great. The direction is awesome. The sprites are cool. The music is amazing. The characters are cool looking. The plot is good enough, but it's pretty great. Okay, so let's get specific. Okay, first let's talk about the weaker point, which is in fact the plot and the writing. It's like it gets you emotionally invested in the characters, but it is not actually well written. There is a lot to be desired from like the characters themselves. Like there's not a lot of like character development. It doesn't feel like there's a lot to be gained from like analyzing the story at all, which like okay is fine, but it feels like it could have been a lot better. But again, that being said, you still grow to care about the characters a lot, and there is stuff that happens, and so it's like it hits you in the feels anyways. And so although that's definitely a huge weakness it has, it doesn't bring it down so much that it's like bad. It's great. It's still a great game. Okay, the art direction is it's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful game. I mean, it's like any classic RPG where there's like so much different stuff going on, but the way they tie it into the two main characters, how they have the sun and the moon motifs, is awesome. It looks so cool. It like is consistent. Um, the in-game, it's all sprites or like pixelated sprites. Um, and they're pretty nice looking, and then the supplemental art is all so beautiful, really like fleshes out the characters. So I recommend looking at it if you ever play the game. It gives you a better feel for what they look like. um, and then the 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 original soundtrack, also the sound design in general is pretty good, but the original soundtrack, unbelievable. What you hear playing in the background right now is quite possibly one of my favorite pieces of video game music ever. Encounter Elite. It's literally just a generic boss theme, but it like, I mean, it's amazing. It's so good. Probably one of the greatest like YouTube comments I've ever seen is on this YouTube video for it. Someone just straight up asked the composer, "How does it feel to have composed one of the most epic boss music of all time?" And honestly, that's just like that says all of it. It's just so good. I listen to it for hours. Um, so OST's great, art's great. The character designs are also really cool. Um, they're cool. Everything's cool. This game is just cool. Like they do a really good job with everything. It's so like visually appealing. It's awesome. Um, okay, the world building is definitely a highlight. Um, World building is something that like all games have, but a lot of the time it's just kind of like the actual world they're in is kind of whatever, but there's so much lore. This game actually has like a very very like fleshed out world. Like you go to pretty much everywhere on like the planet, or like at least like the area that you're like in. Um, and you really get a feel for like how it all fits together. Like like it really is like super cohesive, and it feels like everything is somehow interconnected despite the game itself being relatively really small. Like there's no like crazy like it's just it's basic. Like when you're in the world map, it's just like top down. You're walking to the next area. Like there's no like open world exploration or anything, but somehow they still managed to like make it feel so alive. It's really awesome, and there's a lot of like little hidden things you can do that make it feel so immersive, and it's awesome. Um, Also, the game is pretty funny. It has a lot of funny like things going on. Um, Probably the funniest bit in games in most recent memory is in this game they have a reverse funeral, and I think that's really interesting, and I'm not gonna say like what it pertains to because it's like a little side thing, but it's awesome and so good. I love this
Explain
game.
what a reverse funeral
I
is.
can't because it's spoilers, but it's so funny and so good. Um,
That
let's
doesn't even make sense.
I'll explain it to you later. Um,
Okay.
let's see. Okay, so that's all that stuff. The actual gameplay. Okay, so it's mostly like top-down exploration in like levels. I mentioned how on like the world map you can do that, but this is in like the actual like where you play the game. Um,
I have a question.
okay.
What does top down mean in this context?
Oh, that's a okay. Like like Zelda, like old Zelda games.
Nope.
Really, brother? Okay. Uh, Link to the Past.
Just send an image in Discord.
Yeah,
And also, I'm surprised that he's actually asking good questions and not crashing our video.
that's a stupid. Like, why? How do you not know that? But whatever. This is top down.
What the fuck is your problem,
Like,
bro?
you shut up. This is my video.
It's funnier.
Now I have to cut more. You fucking bitch, bro.
You don't need to, bro. Just keep it in.
Ah,
It's
whatever. I
fine.
guess.
What
Okay.
does top down mean?
Anyways. Okay, look at the stupid
Exactly.
picture. See how Link is like there? But see like the brown parts towards the bottom? Those are like walls. So despite there
Oh,
being the
that's
illusion of
literally
like
just a
so
view is top
despite
down.
what? Yeah, it's literally a view from top down. Like that's exactly what it is. But like the
Oh, I
walls,
thought it was
it's
like
supposed to have like
permanently
it's like
how
a
it works. Like,
no. Well, it is how it works internally, if anything, because it's like
yeah.
it's all just like a tile map, but the walls represent like going downwards, so you can go down. So it gives the effect
Yeah.
illusion of it being 3D when it's really not.
Wait, this is just like Pokemon is like this.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. But yeah, Sea of Stars does it too, which is pretty old school, but it's really cool. Um, and it's also like it is more kind of like 3D-ish, because there are parts where you can go like underneath objects and stuff like that. But anyways, so the actual like world that you walk around in is also pretty interesting. Um, One thing is that it can get boring having to like walk through places over and over until you unlock like fast traveling, but it's not too bad, and the music is cool when you do it, and it's nice to look at, so it's fine. It's not that long either. The puzzles are all pretty cool. There's some ones that take a minute to figure out, but none that are like frustrating per se, so it's pretty good.
Question.
What? Yeah?
Yeah. Why are you so mean to me when I ask a question?
Shut the fuck up. Okay, anyways. I'm cutting that one out. That was really bad. Bro, come on. Get it together.
Just keep it. Just keep it. Just keep it.
Okay, sure. If the boss
If
tells
you
me
cut it
to, I
out, you
guess
should
I'll
include
have
gameplay
to.
instead.
Nah, it's fine. Okay, as I was saying before I got interrupted, um, okay, combat. The combat in this game is it's turn-based. It's a turn-based RPG, but it has like a guard break system where you have different types of damage, like blunt damage, sharp damage, and elemental damage, and you can like depending you have to like hit certain number of attacks of those kinds of damage in order to break guard on like certain enemies, deal more damage to them, stun them, make it so they don't do a big attack for like bosses and stuff. Which is it's pretty simple, but it's effective because it like adds a good layer of strategy, especially once you get more party members, especially certain ones who can do like special stuff. It makes it very interesting. Um, there's also like team up attacks, so having specific party members. But also in mid battle, this is one of those RPGs where you can just change your party members mid battle, like with no consequences, which I really like because it made it feel like like because it feels balanced. Because once you get to the more difficult fights, it's like it you can get more like creative with how you like manage your party members, and it's pretty cool. Um, okay, the big thing that this game does differently than everything else is that while it is turn-based, whenever you do certain attacks, like special attacks mainly, there are quick
Uh-huh.
time events. like
Oh.
there's a certain attack one of the main characters does where he has like an energy ball and he holds it, and if
Huh?
you release it at the right time in the middle of its charging thing, it deals like way more damage than if you overcharge it or undercharge it. um, One that's
Interesting.
really crazy, or a few that are really crazy, is where the attack keeps going as long as you hit the button at the right time. So it almost is kind of like a rhythm game where it just like continuously speeds up the tempo, and if you keep hitting it, you just keep going. So you can do like ridiculous damage, but you can also do like no damage if you mess it up really quick. Um, it's really fun. There's certain abilities that are like skill based almost, that are like if you're using that, like you're gambling that you'll be able to like play it well enough to get more damage out of it than like an easier but
This
less
game
damaging
sounds
ability.
pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Um,
Can you get it on Steam?
I don't know Sea of Stars platforms. I played it on Nintendo Switch because it's a pretty small game, so like you don't need crazy hardware. Yeah, Switch, PlayStation, Xbox. Uh, I don't. Yeah, it's on Steam too. It's on everything. Like it's a pretty
Oh
technically.
dang, it's
It's a
$45.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth it though. You get your money's worth out of it. It's not like it's not technically impressive, but it is. There's a lot of content to do. They're also coming out with a DLC for it, which I will probably play because it's pretty awesome. Um,
Why is the soundtrack on Steam $10 when it's free on YouTube?
I don't know. But anyways, Sea of Stars, great game. It's their team I believe said they were inspired by like early JRPGs like Chrono Trigger. People found the game and got obsessed with it because it's very like it's old school, but it has a lot of modern flair to it, and it's very charming and very good. Art's great. It's fun. Has some problems,
Wait,
but
what is
it's
it
great.
inspired by?
What was that?
What is it inspired by?
Chrono Trigger is one. There are some more, but I forgot them. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, Sea of Stars. It's a great one. It's a great game. It's like near top 10 for me. It's just the plot or like the character writing is probably the big thing because it weighs it down so much because the characters are really endearing and you get to care about them a lot, but there's just like not enough substance, and they don't interact enough is another big one. Um, but it's awesome. It's a great game. Had a lot of fun playing it. That's why you should play it. Go play it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.